We continue our series tonight on the biggest stories of 2017. This was the year Kamehameha Schools finally apologized to the men who were molested as students decades ago. Sean Ching reports.
Between the late 50s and into the 1980s, the reality was that Dr. Robert Brown was a serial pedophile, given access to dozens of middle school boys because of his role as St. Francis Hospital's chief of psychiatry. He shot himself after being confronted by at least one of his many victims.
It was a sense of betrayal. They stole my childhood, years of it.
Liloy and others thought they were alone as victims, but eventually more than 30 men and families of men who had died had sued Kamehameha Schools, St. Francis Medical Center, and the Brown Estate. The lawsuits blamed the school for sending the boys to Brown for their treatment, and that school executives ignored evidence of what was happening.
They're aware of what happened back then, and I think they should be chastised for enabling him, looking the other way, and allowing this to happen.
In a videotaped deposition, retired Kamehameha Schools president Michael Chun told lawyers that back in 1991, he concluded that some allegations against Brown were valid. But after being referred to the Bishop Estate Legal Department, nothing happened.
But you could have done something.
Objection calls for speculation.
Doing nothing is doing something, right?
Chun said his first concern was the current students, but the survivors and many alumni were outraged that Kamehameha didn't react at the time to investigate or help them. And finally, 50 years after the first claims of abuse, came the first apology. On the school's website, December 8th, CEO Jack Wong wrote, quote, "Not nearly enough was done. Truly, this represents the very darkest days for an institution charged with caring for and educating the most innocent among us, our keiki." Close quote.
We spent years in infamy, years in anonymity, and in shame. And all of that could have been avoided.
Despite the apology and plans to attempt mediation next month, it's not clear if Kamehameha Schools or St. Francis has changed their aggressive plans to defend themselves, while some alumni are calling on the school to settle quickly to help the victims heal and move on. For Hawaii News Now, I'm Sean Ching.